What's up, YouTube fam? Where's my soul tribe at? Where they at? That's what I'm trying to find out. Where they at? Because I know there's people out there that are looking to do some healing and self-reflection, introspection. A little bit of shadow work, maybe. Maybe I could just brighten up somebody's day by telling them it ain't that bad. I don't know. I'm here because I really want to reach an audience of people that are going through tough times, been through tough times, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything. So I'm gonna go back to what I was speaking on in the last video. I ran out of storage on my phone. Sorry, it just cut off where it cut off. But at the same time, I think I need to break this down into parts anyway, because who knows how long this is gonna be. So I'm gonna go back to speaking about after the accident, how I was in the hospital. Uh, I know I was at the part where I was talking about the hot room and the nurses not answering the call button. But to rewind back a couple of days in that story, when I was like day 3 or 4, maybe even day 2, some guy came into my hospital room. He was a prosthetic guy. Had his own office. I'm not gonna name names. Maybe I will. Mark Goldberg, that's his name, and the guy was a real piece of shit. All right. I'm speaking facts. I left a comment on Google and everything about what the hell he did. So this guy apparently is he's like an ambulance chaser. You know what I mean? Somebody in the hospital lets him know when people lose limbs. He gets the call. I don't know who he paid off, but he comes into my office. I mean, not into my office. He comes into my room in the burn unit, and this is all fresh. I don't know what's coming day to day with what I got going on at this point. And he tells me he's gonna make me a prosthetic, that this is the way things go, and it's gonna help me get back on my feet, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so I sign whatever papers I gotta sign. I figured the hospital gave this guy to me, and never had a prosthetic before. I don't know nothing about nothing. So I sign the papers. He makes me what's called a check socket, and I'm supposed to wear like compression socks over the stump to like take the fluid out of the drainage, like I was speaking about. There's like a drainage tube in the corner of the leg, and they wanted to make sure no gangrene or anything. That's why they had to chop the leg off, because it had so much debris and oil and just shit that if they attached that leg back together, I could have died from gangrene. It would have just spread. So they chopped it, right? And so I'm wearing whatever I get told to wear, like real tight fitting, socks or whatever they wore. And he brings me the check socket. I get in it one day, it hurts. Things change rapidly in the size of a leg after a week. You know what I mean? He came quick with it, and I couldn't use it yet. I couldn't do anything with it yet. I didn't need it yet. I wasn't. I need to get rehabilitated first, right? So I just get thrown this leg that I'm never gonna use, basically. And he charges the insurance, and he gets a check, and he never answers a phone call again going forward, right? I'm trying to figure out what's what. No phone calls replied to. Never came back. Never did anything for me to get back on a leg from that point, right? So when I'm gonna go back to that. I'm just saying that happened before even getting onto this floor, the regular floor, and being in this hot room and sweating and just miserable. And my friends came up. They seen like my condition, what I was going through, right? And I was on this chair it was a cushy chair on wheels, right? So they just start pushing me out of my room, and they push me right past the nurse's station. They're rolling me out of the hospital, like just to get me in some fresh air and shit, right? And the nurses are like, hey, you can't take him. And my friends are like, fuck you, fix his fucking air conditioner. There's no fucking way he's sitting in there. Like, and I started laughing and shit because, my friends are funny like that, right? So they just push me. They push me outside, right? They take me outside. They roll me around the back of the building, and they light me up on my first Dutch since the accident, since the day that I was supposed to smoke with my friend. Now, I'm gonna put this out there. This is adult talk. This is real life shit that I'm just gonna be speaking on. It's always gonna be the truth. I don't hide, or I'm not ashamed of anything. Like, no one's gonna shame me for shit, right? I'm just saying, like, when you come so close to death and not being here, and this is just a fact. Anybody who's been there knows it. I have a buddy that I posted something about. I put a post up. Marine veteran. He was 62 years old. He was like a mentor to me, a friend, a brother, and not just me. A lot of people in his life. He was a real stand-up dude, right? And I'm saying was because I have to go to his wake tonight, and he just died a few days ago. It was out of nowhere. Like, like the last time I played golf with him, it was in October. We spoke through October and November. Uh, he said he was going to help me out with something, and I lost. He just stopped answering my calls and my texts, and I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't piss this guy off. Like, I don't even. I don't write short texts and shit. I write paragraphs. I'm a writer. Like, I want to get it all out. I'm not a fucking short texting, small talking. I don't do that shit. Like, we're gonna talk about real shit if we're gonna talk. If you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, good. All right. I hope you're having a nice day. All right. Yeah, good. Cool. I could do that too. But this isn't what I'm talking. I'm talking about real life shit, right? So, uh, I get in touch with him finally. I text Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Not, I already wrote my paragraphs, and he never responded. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And I know what it's like on the other end. That, going through something difficult, something traumatic, something. Sometimes people pull away to handle that shit on their own, or they don't want to they don't want to be a burden on anybody else. Like, I know that feeling very well. So finally I got in touch with him in January. Like, it might have even been the beginning of February. It was February. um and I'm like, yo, John, is everything okay? Like, did I piss you off? Did I say something? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to, like. And no, Steve, it's not like that, bro. I told you a long time ago. I will never not answer your call, and I'm sorry I didn't answer your call. Yeah, but I couldn't. He's like, I was given horrible fucking news. He's like, I was told I have less than a year to live. Congestive heart failure. I need a transplant. I'm probably not going to get one. I have cancer in the throat, cancer in other places. And he's like, they gave me less than a year to live. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, John, you can't leave us, bro. I don't want to start crying. The shit is fresh, but the emotions are high. My heart is man. I loved him. Like, he was a lot of people loved him. I just wrote something on his obituaries like 2 days ago. He had over 1,700 visitors, and you got 1,700 people that are sorry you're not on this planet. And these are real life people. These aren't internet people. These are people that you've had in your life. You've been there for. You've went through shit for. And he went through shit for a lot of people. Like, and so did I. And I'm sure so did you. I'm sure. Like, Unless you're just some fucking heartless narcissistic fuck, you know, and it doesn't matter to you to, you know, when the time's up with somebody that you just been using your whole life, the time's up and fuck them. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? I know how to read people. I'm sorry about the beeping. I'm a introverted. I'm an introverted, intuitive person. Like I've been reading the room since I was a child, right? So, you know, traumas, they've been lifelong, right? For most people, like it's a shame when the first people to bully us and hurt us, and and then fucking you can't do nothing about it because you're just stuck there, right? Because they're your parents or your brothers and sisters or your cousins or whoever the fuck you're around growing up from birth until, you know, you could go out on your own at some point, if you go out on your own. I know people my age that still live in their mother's house. You know, it's crazy, like rent free and shit. Like, and I'm like, yo, how do you do that? You know, crying over having to replace an alternator on a car and shit. Like, it's like, dude's having an anxiety attack because he's got to come out of pocket $300 and some dollars for an alternator, living rent free. I don't know. I don't know that life, right? So I got my window open. People walking to their cars right now. I'm at the same place, you know, the rehabilitation hospital that I'm gonna start speaking about if I ever get there, right? So back to, I don't even know. I got ADHD. I jump around, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was going. I was just saying my buddy, 1,700 and something people, right? But, yeah, I gotta go to the wake tonight. Uh, so I'm a little fucked up in the head about it. Like he will be greatly missed. You know, this guy, man. The first day I met him, I was on a putting green at the VA. I was just by myself putting. You know, like I roll up to the golf course alone all the time. I want to play. So, and I meet up with great people. Like, you know, they say business deals happen on the golf course and shit, but you meet great people on the golf course for the most part. You know, there's some dicks out there, but far and few between. Okay, so I'm so glad I picked up golf after my accident because, you know, being in nature is great. I love it. I love it. We would be smoking blunts out there, having a good time. You know, having fun and so I'm putting one day, and John walks over to me, and you know I'm in shorts. He sees the prosthetic leg, tattoos, and you know, and I'm just doing my thing. I always got on a nice shirt, like my color coordination's good, my kicks match, you know. So he just notices me and he comes over and he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I'm John." Da, 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 da. You know, like we introduce each other, and then I'd say within less than a couple of minutes, less than five, we're already at the point where he's asking me what my outlook on life and spirituality is and what I went through, and he was so interested, and I didn't know at the time meeting him that the things, you know, I'm just telling him. I always been a truth speaker and a truth seeker. I don't fucking lie. I don't have to lie. I don't, you know what I'm saying? There's just no reason. There's no reason. There's never been a reason. Like, I tell people how it is. I tell people it's the truth. You can't deny the truth, right? So when I had this, I'm changing my name to SteveeeLove, right? I woke up one day. I want to get, this is a whole nother story, but I woke up one day after another accident that happened 20 years after the motorcycle accident. So we're gonna go through how I got to that point. Double my life. It was like when I was 20 and when I was 40. I met my girlfriend, my first one, my first like real love, the second real love of my life, 1 year later. I met my third year love after the second accident when I was 40, 1 year later. Like it was just weird the way the way it worked, and we'll go all up into that later, right? So, but when I woke up from like not dying in this car crash, I opened my eyes and I said out loud, SteveeeLove is here to stay, and I'm the motherfucking truth. I dare somebody to prove me different, because that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Okay? So, and that's what I said. Like, from here on out, it's love and truth and light. It's you know what I'm saying? I've been through the dark times. It's time for the light, right? Like, you know, I told my friend I moved out. Not I was living with a buddy, and I moved out of his house because it was bad for me. Like, it was bad. We were very codependent on each other in bad ways, right? I'm gonna be talking about traumas, fucking addiction, sex, rock and roll, and drugs, and all, you know, all that shit, or gambling. It's all gonna be spoken on, because I've been there, right? I have a lot of street knowledge, and I have a lot of book knowledge on a lot of. I'm good on both ends. Like, I'm not a fucking jerk off. I've never been a jerk off, right? So, um, that being said, you know, John, I don't know. John's basically interviewing me to write. He's gonna write an article on me to put out in the VA newsletter and shit. And it was such a heartwarming. This guy was a good writer. Like, I admired it. I admired how he put it all into. He just did a great job, and it was like the first time I had somebody really acknowledge me for the amount of shit I've been through, and the amount of work I did, and how far I've come, and it felt good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt really good. Man, that guy was such a great dude, and he probably touched so many people's hearts and lives. I know he did. I read the obituaries. There's many, right? So he writes this article on me. Second year later, he writes another article on me, a more in-depth one, and he's like, you know, I'm like, yo, dude, you brought tears to my eyes, like, with your writing. Like, I love it, and thank you. Like, and he goes, dude, you're a fucking warrior, bro, and you are awe-inspiring to me. Like, you motivate me, bro. And this guy's been to war. He was in fucking Beirut as a machine gunner, sergeant, you know, in the early '80s. Like, you know, I was watching Chuck Norris Delta Force when he was in Beirut, and if it's anything like that movie, that guy's been to fucking war, right? I know he has. I seen the look in his eyes. I could tell, like, the he was a killer, because he had to be, right? Um, Man, so second year he wrote that article on me. Uh, Third year, I'm playing golf with him regularly. I'm meeting him when the sun's not even up yet. We're the first ones in the parking lot of the golf course, and we run out. And I used to call it boot camp golf, because, like, we just hit the course, like, not running. I'm not running. Like, I can't say I hit anything running, because I haven't ran in a long fucking time, and I'll never run again. So, and I'm good with it. You know, I moved through life at a very fast pace for a very long time, and to slow the fuck down and just take in each day, and for the blessing that it is, has been the best. It's been the best feeling in the world, right? I'm so happy that I could honestly say, since that second accident, things switched again in my head from the first accident, and I stopped thinking anything negative. Well, I can't say anything, but the negative shit that was in my head, like, not, I'm talking about the suicidal thoughts, and not want to be here, and not knowing how much longer I could make it in the situations that I was in. I had a new hope for life, and a new outlook, and I knew things had to change drastically. Like, not. I never understood when they say 360, because that just means you're going in one circle and you're facing the same fucking direction. So I did a 180 about face march fucking back the opposite way of everything that I knew, everything that I was doing, and the people that I was with that I shouldn't have been with, the low vibrational shit, the drug use, the like, we'll get into that. That's another day. That's another day, right? Back, ADHD's a motherfucker. So I'm going back to now. We're in part two of the story. It's 20 minutes in. I don't know. Maybe I should save part two of the story for the next video. It's been 21 minutes. I don't want to really hold nobody that long. I don't even know if I could hold anybody's attention that long right now. This is only number 2. Give me a fucking break. I'm trying over here. Right? I love you. I'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's get there together. All right? Goodbye.